Hi, I'm just with Canine Perspective, and I'm here again with Ripley. We're just going over Prong collar, our introduction to Prong collar. We're testing it out, see how our owner likes it. Ripley, of course, is very sweet, very happy-go-lucky, but even sweet dogs need structure, in my opinion. So she likes to jump and like kind of lunge and pull at things. You know, she's not doing it out of meanness or aggressive or tendencies or anything like that. She's just very friendly. So I have her on her flat collar right now. So if I move around with Rip, and I start to just walk with her. She's a bit responsive for like all the stuff that we know specifically. But typically when you start walking with her, if you get her outside, she becomes very impulsive and wants like to run and book it every which direction. So I'm gonna just transfer her here. And a girl. So she's never had a prong on before. This will be her first one. First time. Good. So now she's on the prong. Now she's like letting herself correct here. Making sure I get in some pressure. Girl. And slip leash helps us get a lot of this in. A lot of just the constant pressure. And a girl. So right now I'm just worried about introducing Ripley to the prong collar and the pressure of prong collar. So she goes ahead of me. I'm just kind of moving the opposite way, making sure I get some pressure. Girl. Good girl. Good. Good. So when people introduce prong collar, they typically think, you know, you're going to start off with just yanking the dog all over the place. That's the old school method, the old school yank and crank. Training has been much more developed and refined now. The constant pressure, you know, pressure on when I need the dog to do something, pressure off us to comply. So like here, you know, I place Ripley in a sit, and I decided I don't want her to move anymore. As soon as she gets up, I immediately pull up and put pressure on the prong collar. That lets her know to put her butt back down again. Because she doesn't understand this quite yet. In my book, it would be unfair, technically, to correct the dog. If they don't understand what you're wanting from them. Yep. So I can start layering in words, start hiding things, to essentially have an off switch. Girl. Good. Yep. Good. Stay. So pressure isn't a bad thing. When people think about discomfort, they think it's like, you know, horrendous to put a dog in discomfort, but you know, discomfort is really stress. Stress is a part of life. You can't escape it. You know, you can try to shelter your child from it all you want, but at some point that child's going to become an adult and be exposed to stress. Same thing for dogs. You know, things that you know shouldn't stress them out might stress them out. You know, maybe a bus coming by very quickly stresses your dog out. You know, that's discomfort. You can't avoid that. So pressure, heel, prong pressure, deep collar pressure, whatever, it's discomfort or stress until the dog complies, and then the stressor goes away. The dog goes, oh, I can control this if I simply do this, and it'll go away. Yeah, the girl, stay. So I'm just going between heel and stay here with Ripley. Now, I've not done any formal training with Ripley, and I don't believe she's had any formal training. But we have been doing the slip leash stuff, which is the same concept. It's just the tool is different. We're using a tool that has biting pressure, helps mimic a mother's bite or another dog's bite, which makes it effective for introducing to like e-collar and things like that, because it's more natural to a dog. At this, I believe Ripley is now 8 months, so she's at a good age to introduce to the concept of pressure. I typically don't do puppies under 6 months because they tend to panic. It can be done, it's just a bit more work. And then we definitely most likely will have to do counter conditioning, which is pairing food with the pressure to help balance it out for the puppy, because it can be a bit too much if you just use negative alone. Good girl. Yeah, good girl. Good. Yep. Good. Good. Yep. Good. Good. Stay. Good. So the purpose of introducing the prong here with Rip is, as a pup, she likes to tug and pull towards things off the ground, or if she gets distracted, she'll just kind of pull in the direction. Those are things that can make the walk unpleasant, or she's a constant argument with your dog. Good. So here she lays down. I want to reinforce this is really good. Pressure. 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 Atta girl. Good. Yes. Good girl. Good girl. Take a picture of Ripley for the Instagrams. She's making a very look. She's got a pouty face that she makes. Girl. Yep. So the pressure state or discipline should not affect your dog's personality, or does not affect your dog's personality, depending how it's done. If you're doing the old school yank and crank and your dog doesn't really understand what's going on, yes, you're going to stress your dog out. Yes. Shh. Sorry, I got a dog in my play area. Shh. If you do the old school yank and crank, yes, you're gonna stress your dog out, because it's pretty much do it or there's a punisher. When we do pressure work, the pressure itself, pressure on, increasing pressure until the dog complies, and then the release of pressure is how dogs learn, and how a lot of animals learn, including humans, I believe. And after a couple of weeks of using that pressure, they start to understand what it means. So then if I were to say sit, the dog were not to sit, and I corrected them using a firmer correction, the dog doesn't see it as unfair, because they understand why it happened, and why, and that they were given an opportunity to respond, because we've done pressure work and we've conditioned a lot. So the dog has a fairly good concept. So typically, I give dogs 2 weeks to learn a behavior or an action. There are some cases where you'll get a personality type, and it's just, yes, you have to use the old school yank and crank method, because they're so dense, or they're just so all over the place, that there's no other way to really get through to them. And if you do pressure work, not to say that you can't, it's just you're most likely going to be very frustrating for the owner, because you're going to have to need the patience to deal with that until you get to the point where the dog can be corrected. So with Ripley here, good. Just not yanking or pulling her all over the place. I'm using the pressure to, of course, communicate Right now I moved away. She decided she wanted to keep laying down, and then I took that opportunity to put pressure on it, continuous pressure, continuous pressure, continuous pressure. She decided to move, good. I marked it with good, and then everything goes away. And she just learned, oh, if Jessie moves and I move with Jessie, I can avoid the pressure. And that's ultimately what you're trying to teach the dog. Same thing with e-collar. Excuse me. Same thing with e-collar. It's increasing continuous pressure. I'm going to reinforce this. There we go. So I'm going to be a little more strict with Ripley. Increasing pressure with the remote, and then once the dog complies, we let it go. And then with the remote collar, it goes 0 to 127. We can really fine tune that pressure to the dog's personality type. So, excuse me. So this was Ripley's introduction to Prong collar, just with Canine Perspective, and thank you for watching. And sorry about the coughing.